Assuredly, welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. It's hard to imagine this not being a fun game to watch. It's the Vikings going up against the Seahawks. With that, let's hand it over to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. They've got the call on this Week 3 matchup.
Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Evergreen State and CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington. Tonight, we wrap up Week 3 with a good Monday nighter here between the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. It's been a great start to the season, back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out playing good fundamental football, and that might carry them a long way.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
Illegal block in the back. Return team. Automatic first down.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up the defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Now a run with Peterson. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead them to 3rd down. A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. On 3rd and long, it's Kaepernick. And that is incomplete. The intended target, Doug Baldwin. And that brings up 4th down.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. He's got Evans. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Kaepernick now on first down. And the grab made by Doug Baldwin. 11 yards on the pickup, and it'll give the Seahawks a first down. Throwing on first down is Kaepernick. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. On first down, Kaepernick. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
On 2nd down, Peterson. They find some open field here. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. When we sat with the coaching staff a couple of days ago, they said attacking that defensive look with a run, something they wanted to do, it was effective.
And they were extremely confident, weren't they? Their planning, their preparation, they knew what they were going to get in that defense, and they were able to attack it accordingly.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. Tackle made there by Sharif Floyd.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
To throw, it's Kaepernick. Wilson snags it left side. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Yeah, that right there will set him back a bit on the offensive holding penalty.
And you know who you want to pressure after a penalty like that? The guy who just committed the foul. You want to see if he's going to keep his head down or if he's going to get his head right back into the game. I'd send a blitz at him right away and see if he holds up.
Now Kaepernick. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Sharif Floyd forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards. They'll try to capitalize on play number 11 of this opening drive. 3rd and goal. Here's Kaepernick to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is caught. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. Not a bad way to start it.
And I think that was part of their script because so many teams script their opening possessions. And whether it's just that possession or even deeper into the half, sometimes it's 15 to 30 plays. That had to be one in there where they call a shot play. Go for the big one, and they got it done.
And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. So we played 1 quarter here on a Monday night. It's the Seahawks on top here early. We'll be back to Seattle right after this.
When we talk about the best corners in the league, we're usually saying shutdown corners, guys you can't complete passes against. Richard Sherman fits that definition to a T. The best part of his game, no wasted moves. He studies the opponent so well, hard to get a pass on Richard Sherman.
And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked hideous.
And that was amazing because that drive went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
And they talked about how important the passing game was going to be against that defensive look. Good job there going to the air for the first down.
It's all about preparation. It's all about planning, and then it's about execution. So they put it all together in practice. Okay, this is what we think we're going to see. This is how they get to it. And then when the game comes, read it and attack it.
On 1st and 10, here's Kaepernick. Dancing to his left. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. If you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
And credit the tackle to Cliff Avril. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. Back now, as I search for my cue card here, there we go. Coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis from our... And now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. The pass receiver turned into a runner, then he turned into a fumbler, and it goes the other way for 6.
I love your description. Although for the offense, they're not too happy about it. But for the defense, what a big-time play for them. Never give up on anything. Sometimes you create your own points.
But the receiver, hard to fault him. He's just going for extra yards.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do, but you have to take care of the football.
Hauschka now for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Vikings send out their punter. Back deep for the Seahawks, the All-Pro returner from 2015, Tyler Lockett. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Now Colin Kaepernick and the offense heading back out onto the field. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Kaepernick now to throw. Kaepernick hit. Fumble. He lost the football. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So the offense puts the ball on the ground, but they pick it back up. Now they face a third down. Kaepernick now on 3rd and goal. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Here we go on 4th down with Kaepernick. He's going to air one out. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Doug Baldwin, 87 yards. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Here's Hauschka for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Good matchups and gets into the offensive backfield.
And there it works for a tackle for loss. The Vikings send out their punter. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. The Minnesota defense, we watch them get set to roll. They've had a couple passing touchdowns against them in this game, and that last drive they really got picked apart.
They've got to figure out how to tighten things up because no matter what they've done, whatever adjustments they've made, offense has been a step ahead of them. So they've got to figure it out. Usually, a sack of the quarterback can help change the momentum.
Maybe bring some pressure.
I think maybe a little bit of pressure would help them greatly. I thought guys that were over 30 weren't supposed to run the football this well in the National Football League. How about that veteran leadership? A big-time run combined with some nice blocking by his offensive line, showing that the ins and outs of being a veteran still has his place in this league. His odometer is not totally turned over yet.
And he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18. That's going to go as a loss of a full 8 yards. It sets him back for second down. They're going to hurry back to the line now. To throw, Kaepernick. And he'll be grabbed from behind and slung down like a rag doll. Sharif Floyd in there to drop him for his second sack now here tonight.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say, when you have obvious passing situations. Hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Here's John Ryan now. as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves.
Kaepernick will try again on 2nd down. He's going to go for a big play down, and this is caught. It's a big play there for Seattle. 45 yards. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
And now a first down following that long gain. To throw is Kaepernick. And there's Baldwin. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Now Hausch going to tack on the extra point. And the lead is up to 18 now. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. Hausch now to send this one away following the score. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Desperation time. 4th down. Bridgewater. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. They had the play call on 4th and goal, but it's dropped in the end zone. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They'll come out in the pistol. Throwing now is Kaepernick. It's caught on the left side by Baldwin. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his 3rd touchdown of the season, all coming in this game. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Hausch now for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. 1 play, 2 plays, touchdown. That's all it took there. A very short and sweet drive that got him in the end zone. This will be taken in at the 1. Oh, nice move. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Strong right, strong right, strong right. We got 3 minutes. Wait 90. Wait 90. 54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch the
Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And they're going to go soft on the corners. Bridgewater to throw it. Surveying the field. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Throwing is Bridgewater. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. And, Charles, you know what coaches always tell us. We want to win our home games. That much we know. We want to protect our home turf. They got that done in this one.
Exactly right. When you start a season, everyone's goal, win all of your home games, split your road games, and you're likely going to be in the playoffs. But when you win at home, boy, what a great feeling that is. You don't even mind if people are at your house when you get home after a win like that.
So for the Seahawks, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Arizona Cardinals next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head down to Miami to take on the Dolphins. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.